Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Patrick from Vicious Computers and welcome to what hopefully might be a pretty quick video. This weekend I've been waiting for, today I've got a little bit of a science experiment because there's a question that I needed an answer for that I couldn't find the answer anywhere online. And unfortunately, it's kind of an important question. It influences my purchase decisions and possibly my comfort as a motorcycle rider. And that happens to be in the hot Florida sun or wherever you're at where it's hot outside and you're buying some cool summer gear to go ride on your motorcycle, does the color matter with how hot you are? And I searched online for this and I found some YouTube videos, I found some forum posts, I found answers, but none of those answers were really satisfactory because nobody really tested anything in a way that I consider appropriate. There was like no scientific testing. It was just opinions. And the world has so many opinions and not enough facts that I'm going to answer the question for myself today. And I figured, hey, let me throw together a quick video. And since I'm going to do this, I might as well share it with others. So let's go over the setup. First of all, part of the new gear is the action camera that I wear on my helmet, which I'm now wearing on my head today to record this. It's just going to make putting together a video much quicker and easier. And if the format happens to be popular, I can use this same format for future videos because when I use the professional recording cameras, it's a lot more work to set up the camera angle, the lenses, and this and that and the other. And being the cameraman and the talent, it's a lot of work. So this way, my head gets to be the cameraman, so to speak. And I don't even have to worry about being on camera, which is a bonus. So yeah, you'll see my hands and maybe my feet, but otherwise I don't have to worry about how I look today. Let's go over what I looked at online. So people say, yes, black is way hotter than white. Here is a test. And they took a black helmet and they took an infrared thermometer and they put them out in the sun for 30 minutes. And the black helmet was way hotter than the white one. Of course, you leave it out in the sun, the black helmet's going to be hotter. We learned that in like 3rd grade in science class when we were cooking hot dogs in black PVC pipes. Black car versus white car sitting out in the sun all day. Of course, the black car is going to be hotter than the white car. Here's where we're missing a lot of problems here, right? There's conduction, convection, and radiation. 3 things that involve heat and cooling. When you're cooking something on the stove, the pan is hot and it cooks the food through conduction because the heat from the pan is touching and being conducted into the food. Convection is your air conditioning in your car. The cool air coming out of the air conditioner pulls the heat away from your body. Or if you want a heating situation, that's what a convection oven is, or your air fryer. Your air fryer is just convection, heat. And then radiation is actually the enemy in this case. That's the sun. So the radiation from the sun, that sunlight energy gets transformed into heat. And in that case, yes, black absorbs more, darker colors absorb more of that radiation and turn it into heat because it is absorbed rather than reflected. Lighter colors reflect it. So energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transferred. That's physics, right? Science. So black color absorbing more of the energy means more heat will be there. But here's the problem in the test I've seen online. The reason we're buying summer jackets, mesh jackets, is because we're moving down the road and it lets wind and air come through to cool you off. Almost none of the tests actually took into mind how much you're going to be cooled off when you're moving on your motorcycle. And so, yes, if you sat in the sun all day, the black is going to be a lot hotter than white, but we're moving. That's the whole reason I got a mesh jacket in the first place. So how long does it take to heat up? And if you're moving at least a little bit here and there, how much of a difference does it really make? The other issue is some people did some tests that were sort of loosely based on this concept, but they wore a black jacket and a light color jacket, and they took some rides, but they weren't even the same jacket. They weren't the same model, they weren't the same brand. And of course, if you take 2 different rides, if I go for a ride right now, and I did a 30-minute ride, and then I took another ride after that, it's probably gonna be 4 degrees hotter when I do the second ride because it keeps heating up outside. So what we got here, 3 jackets. I don't know how you actually say climb. I think I've heard it pronounced both ways. The black one, the tan one, and the light gray. All the same jacket, all brand new. We're gonna test these. These will be our jackets that we test. And right now, I'm either gonna be keeping the black, because black's my favorite color, or I'm probably gonna go with the light gray. But that's what today's test will tell me. How we're doing the test. So, we do have an infrared thermometer, which will tell us our external, heat. It's not really the most important thing in this test, but more data is better. We have an anemometer, something kind of crazy to bring into this test, but I have one, so I'm going to use it. The anemometer, I bought this when I was fixing the dryer, and I was testing the dryer to make sure it was working and up to spec. This will give us our wind speed, and it also tells us the temperature, but I wouldn't really trust the temperature sensor on this. But that's nice because at one of our tests that we're going to be running is a fan blowing on the jackets, and I'll be able to tell you the wind speed, so you know, hey, this is the same as riding down the road at 20 miles an hour. Video quality with the action camera is not the greatest, but we are running external sound. As a content creator for a long time, I think sound is 1,000 times more important than video. And of course, the content is the most important thing of all. So hopefully the content is good. We have 3 Govee thermometers that have been calibrated to each other. So right now they all read within like 0.1 degree of each other. So we got temperature readings and we got humidity readings. And it also, if we go into one of these, we can see graphs over time. So we'll be able to get really awesome data for our temperatures. And with that, the testing. Let's figure out how we're going to do the testing. I'm going to do several series of tests, and we're going to isolate the testing variables by doing it this way. So the very first thing to do is to make sure our thermometers are all calibrated and working. So that's the first test. Here we go. 73.3, 73.3, 73.3. Sitting in this room, making sure they had time to stabilize. The next thing to do is to go and take the jackets outside. We're going to hang these thermometers in the center of the jacket and zip it up. And I'm going to put it on my back patio in the shade for 30 minutes and see what happens with the jackets. I assume that in this first test, we're going to find that they pretty much are the same temperature because they're going to be in the shade. It'll get hotter outside, but without that radiated heat from the sun, it shouldn't really make that big of a difference. Then we'll move them out into the sun. And then we're going to really see probably our first big difference, where the black jacket surely is probably going to be a little bit hotter than the light gray jacket, and the khaki tan jacket will be somewhere in the middle. The final test is when we actually throw a fan at the jackets and simulate riding and putting air through the jackets. We'll see what that test concludes for us. And that's really where I think the important testing is going to be. And then we might come up with some other testing scenarios to throw in there as well. And during this time, we'll take readings with everything we've got here. So, long intro aside, just so you know exactly what we're doing today and why, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I actually have these labeled: temperature 1, temperature 2, temperature 3, temperature 1, 2, and 3 on the phone. That way we don't ever get our data points crossed up. We'll go in order of darkest to lightest. So we'll start with temp number 1. We'll make that belong to the black jacket. And what I think I'll do here, probably the easiest way to get these secured, I figure is just something like that. A clip hanging in the middle of the jacket. We'll zip it up. So number 2, we'll go to our khaki jacket. And number 3. And it sounds like someone was getting some pressure washing done outside today. Hopefully that doesn't give us too much trouble. Something I need to do, but I need to get this done so I know exactly what I want to do with these jackets. So let's go outside and start our first baseline test. Okay, here we are, stationed outside in the back patio. Another hot Florida day. We'll start here on the back patio. We'll set a timer for 30 minutes, and we'll come out here and measure the outside temperature of the jackets, and we'll test the thermometer readings and see how they look and see if there's any difference. And say hi to Nova. All right, let's go inside. Okay, so preliminary test, right? Let's go with, it's been 30 minutes, and we're gonna come out here and just take a reading. Oh, poor girl. She can't be away from daddy. We'll take an outside reading of this jacket and see if there's any difference in temperatures on the outside, and we'll look at the thermometer readings and see if there's any differences there. So let's see here. We want Fahrenheit, outside of the jacket, about 86, 87, closer to 87 on the white one. And 86, 87, pretty much the same. And the black, also 87. So, I mean, this matches my hypothesis that on this first test, there's not going to really be a difference on the temperature of the jackets. We can also pretty much assume that if the outside temperature didn't change, that the inside temperatures are going to be the same, but we'll double check. So temp 1, temp 2, temp 3, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Let's wait till we see the Bluetooth symbol so we know they're checking in. There we go. 87.4, 86, 85.8. So we're within 0.5 degrees across the range here. I'd say that's within margin of error. Pretty much what we expected to see. Now, to find the best place to put these in the sun. All right, I'm trying my best not to have anything at a different angle so that it's not hitting the sun evenly. That's why I was thinking about just hanging them on the fence so they would be completely the same height, same orientation, same everything, but the heat from the fence itself would be interfering with our testing results. So, we're trying to be as scientific as possible. This looks pretty good. If I really wanted to, I could like tie the sleeves together or something, but I think we're close enough here. There's plenty of sun on each of these, and we'll give it another 30 minutes and see how it looks. Come on, you. All right, so here we go. 30 minutes out in the sun. I brought some more support out here just so I can make sure that these guys aren't overlapping each other. I want to make sure that the sun can hit them all, and of course we're going to have to be really careful when we get to the next test with the fan. But 30 minutes, it's freaking cooking out here. Let's take some temperatures and see where we're at. Starting with our black jacket. All right, we're reading 111 to 109, 110. So I'd say on average, you're looking at about 110. The khaki jacket, 107, 106, 109. There's a 103 there. I think that's from the shady spot. 105. So it's a few degrees cooler. I'd say average temperature here 107. So really not that big of a difference. And 103, 100, 103, 101. So that's a pretty big difference. If you're going to be just sitting in the sun wearing your jacket, so I'd say average here is about 100. So 8 degrees cooler. If you're just sitting in the sun, the white jacket, which is called light gray in this case, is definitely cooler. It also means when I bought this, because I thought black might be too hot, that this really wouldn't have been that big of a difference. So it's not just black and other colors, it really is black and white is where you're going to find the big difference. The dark colors like this dark tan don't really matter too much. Let's check out the temperature readings from the internal thermometers. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. Okay, the black jacket right now is running 106. The tan jacket is running 103, and the white jacket is running 101. So about 3 degrees difference between all of them. So 6, 3, and 1. So you can see that's actually right in line. So it looks like we've got between 3 and 6 miles per hour of wind across the board here. So black wind 6 miles per hour, tan wind 5-6 miles an hour, white wind a little bit less. Let's bring that fan closer. I dropped this fan the other day. I think I might have damaged it. All right. There we go. So all of these have equal airflow. Let's see how quickly these temperatures change. Because yeah, we can come out here in 30 minutes and maybe they will have equalized quite a bit. But what about right away, right? So as of right now, it's only been a couple minutes. The white one is at 100 degrees. The tan one is at 100 degrees. And the black one's at 104. So right away, the tan, which was 3 degrees hotter, immediately caught up to the white one immediately. So you wouldn't have to ride but for a couple of minutes, and they're the same temperature. Our black one is holding on a little bit stronger here. It's still 4 degrees hotter than the rest, but 4 degrees is not huge. And again, we just started. So let's see what happens in a few more minutes. All right. So the reason we're doing it this way, instead of going for a ride, is because if you were going for a ride, you're going to constantly be changing speed. The temperature outside is going to be changing. There's a lot of variables that we just don't have control over. It's my hope by doing it like this, that we're going to make as many variables possible be controlled and the same, so that we get maybe not scientifically perfectly accurate results, but we get enough of an accurate statement that we can make a real conclusion. And what we're seeing here is sitting in the sun, the darker colors, a little bit hotter, heats up a little bit faster. As soon as we started adding air, they equalize very quickly, with the black one just taking a little bit longer to cool down. But here's your food for thought, right? We let those sit in the sun for a half an hour to build that temperature up. If we had run the fans from the beginning, simulated something similar to what riding in traffic looks like. So you're sitting at a light for 2 minutes, and then you're moving, and then you're stopped, and then you're moving. The black jacket would have never built up enough heat to be that dramatically different, and they'd be more equalized. So you can see we've dropped down to 99, 99, and 102. They're pretty much getting closer and closer the longer that the wind's blowing. So I'd say we'll come back in 10 minutes and see where we're at, and then we can kind of start doing some on-off testing. Off for 2 minutes, on, off. We can do that just as an extra test. But you can see the results here. 98, 99, 102. The lighter colors are very, very slowly dropping just a little bit more, while the black one continues to get closer. So I said we would come back in 10 minutes and check on this again. I'm not waiting 10 minutes. It's only been 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And already the results, if you can see them, the black jacket's at 100 degrees. The khaki jacket is at 98 degrees. The gray jacket, the white one, is at 98 degrees. So we're now only 2 degrees disparate between the hottest and the coldest. And that's just been with the fans on for less than 10 minutes. So yeah, this is looking really good for the testing, the reason we did this testing is because nobody's done this. Nobody's actually measured how hot these things are while you're moving on a motorcycle, which I'm hoping if you're wearing motorcycle protection, it's because you're moving, because you want to be prepared if you go down. You know, that's the thing. It's Florida heat. It's hot out here. I much prefer the comfort of not having a jacket and not having a helmet. But you know, I've got a family, I've got kids, I've got a wife, and they don't stop me from doing the things I love to do. So I'm going to make sure that I can come home to them at the end of the day by giving myself the best chance there is to be safe. So I wear this stuff even though it's hot and it's uncomfortable, which is why I just bought these jackets, because hopefully they are more comfortable and not as hot as what my cheaper starter gear was. We're at 98, 98, and 99. The temperatures are getting closer and closer. So let's, the sun just went down. I was going to say, let's turn off the fans and see how fast they climb back up. Turn them off and on, off and on. But we'll just wait. We'll wait a minute. We'll skip in the video with some editing. Wait till the sun comes back up and we'll do that test. We're synced. We're at 97.6 on the white one, 97.1 on the khaki one, 98.7 on the black one. It's 110 right now. I say you sit at an average light for 2 to 3 minutes. So let's see what happens at 113. We'll give it 3 minutes. All right, that should be about enough time. Let's go make sure these temperatures update. Okay, we were equalized to almost the same temperature. We turned off the fan to simulate being stuck at a red light in traffic. And right now, the white jacket, 97.7, the khaki jacket, 97.2, the black jacket, 98.5. So only 1 degree hotter from sitting at the red light for about 2 minutes. Now we turn the fans back on and we'll see how quickly they equalize. All right, I think this is enough testing to kind of call it. We've turned the fans back on. It's been running for about 2 minutes. The white jacket, 97.9. Khaki jacket, 97.5. Black jacket, 99.2. We can see that the black jacket is consistently a little bit slower to cool down and quicker to heat up, but it does normalize as long as you've got air blowing. So you can pretty much surmise that in the average traffic situation, you're going to be like a couple of degrees hotter here and there when you're stuck in traffic. But for the most part, if black is your aesthetic, then you're good to go. It's not going to be that much hotter if it's properly ventilated, well-made motorcycle gear. And it's only going to be hotter when you're in the sun. So if you're riding at night, if you're riding in the shade, when it's overcast, pretty much won't be a big difference at all. It'll be the same as we saw from our first test. The last thing to mention is obviously visibility. And if you are concerned about visibility, the lighter colors are higher visibility. I think I will be sending the khaki one back and keeping the light gray in this case, because I already have a black jacket and I'll have a little bit more options. But it's good to know that the black jacket wouldn't have been like the end all be all, like I made a bad mistake and I'm cooking like I thought, which is how I would have assumed it was going to go if I took all the other information I found online to heart, where other people said the black gear is significantly hotter. As long as you're moving and it's mesh gear, it's not significantly hotter. It's just a little tiny bit hotter. So I hope that this video was helpful for somebody, useful, and that the answers I was looking for can be shared with others. This is Patrick from Vicious Computers, and I'll see you next time.